What's going on with Cyberpunk 2077 right now? About 6 weeks ago on September 1st, CDPR tweeted out this mysterious NUSA recruitment image. As we'll talk more about in this video, quite a few mysterious or secret projects are surrounding CDPR and Cyberpunk 2077 right now. So I think as a result of all of that, this tweet ended up getting a little overhyped. It went a bit too viral as fans were speculating on a new expansion or DLC for Cyberpunk and ended up getting over 2 million views. Although, as we'll talk about a bit later in this video, maybe fans aren't completely wrong there. And while this tweet did in fact kick off a new ARG, that's where things only get more confusing. To quell some of the reactions, CDPR did follow up clarifying that this wasn't an announcement around new content coming to the game, but then what is this? I covered each of the ARG stages more extensively in my last video, but this ended up leading to quite a bit of content and effort from CDPR. A secret YouTube video, messages from an NUSA netrunner on Discord, some classified files to decode, and even secret websites were unlocked as players decoded clues and progressed through the ARG. And in the end, the ultimate goal was hacking into Kurt Hansen's server via this code entry form. We even got some interactions with Kurt Hansen on the Phantom Liberty anniversary. The same day he took over the Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter, he also joined the Discord. But this is where some of the problems start. As in my last video, it seemed like the ARG was solved and done. Many players thought this was the solution, but it actually wasn't. The ARG players had simply gotten it wrong and started getting failed attempt messages. They couldn't break into Kurt's server. Without going back through all of this, the eventual solution was via these gray squares. In the initial NUSA image, the code is in the bottom right corner, so you fill that one in here. Going through the rest of the documents and images, you can fill out these solutions, but that still isn't it. The next clue came from the BR, TL, BL, etc. This was telling you which character to use. Players who finally submitted this code did get a return email granting them access, being told they're among the 25 recruits cleared for the mission. Remember, this was all a part of a NUSA recruitment test, and how the colonel would be in touch shortly. Except all of that happened back in September, and since then, nothing else has occurred. And perhaps an even better question, what was actually the point of all of this? During the ARG, it was described as an event around the Phantom Liberty anniversary. That was back on September 26th. That day has come and gone, and we still don't have answers. Because as of right now, there just is a lot of odd or weird stuff going on around CDPR and Cyberpunk 2077. Although, I think we're going to be getting answers very soon. But if you do want more of the horrific and strange, I think I have just the thing for you. That's today's video sponsor, Rules of Engagement: The Gray State, a new tactical RPG extraction shooter that won't have you stressing over your gear and actually leans into the RPG mechanics for once. In Rules of Engagement, you're thrust into the Gray State, the most lucrative gold rush in history, but it's in the Horrorverse, an unstable dimension with some familiar faces. And these monsters are varied. They're the monsters from your childhood nightmares because this isn't just one horror story, it's all of them. And of course, enemy players are also a threat, but this is extraction with a twist. In every match, players start with the same loadout, so you must loot that top tier gear or rely on the deep build crafting. And you have no idea what you'll run into. The wrong encounter early on can completely derail your strategy or end up giving you a massive power boost. But you're gonna have to use your brain here, not just your aim. In Rules of Engagement, each class has an extensive talent tree, making players feel unique, and player synergies are a huge mechanic. And since you start with limited gear, this really exaggerates your build choices, so be heavily relying on those abilities towards the beginning of a match. This is an RPG with classes, and the one that calls to me the most is the Phantom. I mean, why fight head on when you can just sneak up behind them? But around mid-game, something interesting happens. Many people hate losing their gear in extraction shooters, the loss of all that progress. So in Rules of Engagement, you could extract early with all of your gear for a quick win, or alternatively push towards the vertex, risking it all but for the best rewards in game. This gives you that flexibility each match and removes gear anxiety. And if you like what you hear, it gets even better. Rules of Engagement: The Gray State will be completely free to play, only supported by cosmetics. So with that in mind, don't wait. Wishlist Rules of Engagement on Steam right now and join their Discord to keep up to date with the latest news. But when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077, throughout much of 2025 and even a bit before, we've had all of these strange or surprising updates around the game. I mean, even this new unfinished ARG really just came out of left field a bit. My theory is we get a new update or perhaps something more on December 10th, the 5-year anniversary of Cyberpunk 2077.
It's always amazing, and it's really difficult to imagine that it's almost been 5 years that we've been doing it. Like, I mean, we've been doing it even longer, but with you playing,
we'll get to the 5th anniversary.
Yeah, I know.
When the time is right.
A ton of fans are reading into that final exchange about the 5-year anniversary, and specifically the "we'll get to the 5-year anniversary when the time is right" comment, as a clue towards something larger dropping around that date. You've probably seen this birthday calendar. CDPR tweeted it out back in March, and it's been speculated on to death because it has 6 encrypted slots. And that's not just a cool design. CDPR calls attention to these in the original post, and even brought it up a bit later on a repost. And if you haven't been following, this is a proper calendar. Month by month, CDPR has been tweeting out the calendar pages with the slotted birthdays, so you could hypothetically print them out if you want to. But this entire time, the encrypted slots have never come into play. But of course, the final calendar does have a very special day on it. I just have to imagine the 6 encrypted slots will finally be revealed in December for that 5-year anniversary. And I think that's one of the big parts of all of this. No matter what happens going forward, it feels like an end is in sight. We'll be getting some answers soon. Because, yeah, the year's coming to an end. It's only a year calendar. And well, yeah, the most recent ARG was stated as having nothing to do with game content, and now having this extended duration and it not being resolved as we are approaching the 5-year anniversary does make me wonder if another stage could come to this. The big thing I thought would be coming for the 5-year anniversary is mod tools. In the past, the new CEOs talked about seeing value from things like mods. But with the recent news that console mod support for The Witcher 3 is getting delayed into 2026, it does make you wonder if Cyberpunk 2077 mod tools could also be delayed. The Cyberpunk 2077 modding scene has hit a bit of a lull as of late, even despite huge player counts, so mod tools dropping in just a few weeks could be absolutely massive here. But what about that leaked DLC? I mean, hey, we're getting a new casino, right? Unfortunately, the casino billboards are very likely a bug and not actually a tease for new content, but there has been teases for new content nonetheless. So let's make the case for a new Cyberpunk 2077 DLC, whether this be something free or paid, and to be clear, this is speculation heavy. We know CDPR has several unannounced projects on the way. The lead game designer from Virtuous, who popped up during the patch 2.3 red streams, is also working on unannounced projects. Could these be the same unannounced projects at these 2 separate companies, but clearly tied together? As many have pointed out, patch 2.3 was relatively minor overall. It was actually one of the giant criticisms around the patch. So a lead game designer is a pretty high-profile person to be involved with this update and on this stream. Could something more be underway in the background? Perhaps the updates coming from Virtuous as free updates to this aging game, or more just filler content while something else was being produced. Virtuous recently had a round of layoffs that coincided with a strategy shift to strengthen our offering in high-value co-development, such as what they're doing right now with Cyberpunk 2077. CDPR isn't working on this game anymore. They've moved on to the next one, and the employee breakdown makes that clear. And honestly, Cyberpunk 2 has been expanding majorly this year as the game transitioned into pre-production. I think soon enough we're going to be learning more about that one. And even another contractor working with Virtuous had a Cyberpunk 2077 DLC listing pop up on their LinkedIn. This could have just been around the new text messages we got in patch 2.3, but maybe something more as well. Of course, the wording DLC is being used here, despite it never being used around patch 2.3. And this person is still working with Virtuous, assuming their LinkedIn is up to date, despite the fact that patch 2.3 dropped months ago. This person even had some writing samples on his website about some new quests involving Judy. Earlier in the year, we saw the Polish Judy voice actress tease something around Cyberpunk describing working on a new character though. Although as of right now, we have no idea if that's game content or something else entirely. And not only has CDPR not quite denied the DLC rumors, but they've even referenced it as the DLC in the past. Although this could just be an error as they're a Polish company, of course. I'm really not sure how much we could read into this one, but it does come up a lot with speculation around this all. And honestly, the thing that makes me think a new DLC is on the way the most is everything else going on with Cyberpunk 2077. Why'd they hire Virtuous for the 4-year anniversary in the first place and to make all of these continued free updates? We know both a new anime as well as a new live-action series are coming in the next few years. This game hasn't really been slowing down, and there is a massive audience for new content right now. That audience is only going to be growing more as more Cyberpunk media does start dropping. If we got something like mod tools this year, that could lead to a healthy holdover for more content coming down the road later in 2026. And of course, this perfectly mirrors what CDPR is already doing with The Witcher 3. It's getting further support with console mods next year, and the most recent leak state it's getting another new DLC, which could be an expansion of its own at some point in the future. To me, it seems really likely that Cyberpunk 2077 has a surprisingly active future ahead of it, and what makes this all exciting to me is we'll likely be finding out a bit more in just a few weeks. Don't forget, the first time we ever got a look at Phantom Liberty was the Game Awards. The Game Awards 2025 is on December 11th, just one day after the 5-year Cyberpunk anniversary. If you're interested in something to hold you over until then though, check out this video for some more Cyberpunk 2077 content.